Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Talking outdoors, we do every Saturday morning for 90 minutes. In our 14th year on the air, Greg Ratliff is our executive producer. And you know, I've done a series of interviews from my time spent over at Pigeon Forge for Wilderness Wildlife Week. And one of the folks that I had a chance to meet, he says, why in the world do I want to interview him 423 miles from Memphis when I can talk to him anytime I wanted to? Well, the problem with that, I don't get to sit down and talk one-on-one with this young man. I might bump into him turkey hunting sometime with his dad or something along that line. But that's our good friend Daryl Ratajczak. And good morning, Daryl.
How you doing, Larry?
Just get this microphone on there, Daryl. I know that Daryl is the chief of wildlife and forestry.
Yeah, they threw that in there on me.
Threw that in there on him and everything. But Daryl's path has crossed in our neck of the woods, so to speak, in Shelby County during his time at the Hunter Education, the Bartlett Range.
Yes.
You opened it up, didn't you?
I did. I was the first manager there.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. Daryl is from, if you can't tell, how long have you been with the TWRA?
14 years.
14 years, Daryl. Okay,
Yes.
14 years, and he still talks like he's from Buffalo.
I do not.
Yeah,
I go to Buffalo, and they talk about my southern drawl.
They do?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, okay, you're getting closer now.
I hope so. I prefer that.
Okay, we like that, but Daryl is from Buffalo. Tell my listeners, because we're not going to get any technical things. If you think we're going to talk about license fees increase or hogs, we might talk about hogs a little bit, because I'm really something we may talk about, because we're going to try to do Daryl with 2 segments here. But tell our listeners how you got to be where you are today.
All right. I just gave a couple of presentations, and I had to introduce myself and reassure everyone I kind of know what I'm talking about, or at least I pretend to know what I'm talking about. I got my degree in wildlife management back in 1992. From the College of Environmental Science and Forestry, which is part of Syracuse University.
From Syracuse University.
So
I've
got to add Syracuse. So
you got to okay, the Orange Man. Okay,
but believe it or not, it's a really, really good wildlife management school.
Okay, there's bears in New York.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I got my degree in 1992, thinking, man, I'm going to go back home to Buffalo, New York, and start working with animals.
Yes.
And there were no jobs. Anyone in our field knows that those jobs are hard to come by, because it's a passion of everyone. As soon as someone gets in that field, they don't leave until they retire.
Really?
So for a number of years, I was actually doing medical research, and I hated doing what I was doing.
Medical research?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
At Syracuse?
No, in Buffalo, New York.
In Buffalo, okay.
But what I did for a number of years, trying to get into my field, I started volunteering with the DEC, which is the equivalent of TWRA, but up in New York.
Okay.
I was doing everything from deer check stations to pheasant studies to sitting in swamps listening for frogs. Doing
anything.
Whatever they wanted me to do.
Is that on your resume?
It was for a long. It still is.
Okay.
I'm sure.
All right.
But literally anything they wanted me to do, I was trying to build my resume and show whoever my potential employer would be that I was passionate about animals. Lo and behold, 1997. There was a job opening in Townsend, Tennessee, for this place called the Appalachian Bear Center.
Yes.
It's now known as...
How did you find out about a job opening in Townsend, Tennessee?
I'm trying to remember.
Living in New York.
I don't know how I don't think it was internet back then.
No, I don't think there was. I mean,
I found
word
out
of
about
mouth
it.
Of something, maybe some magazine or something.
I don't know where I came across that, but I applied for that.
Okay.
And because I had my degree in wildlife management, because I've done all this other stuff, I had a rehabilitator's license back then. I flew down, interviewed for it. Here's the funny thing, Larry.
You flew down here to Townsend. You didn't fly to Townsend.
No, I flew to Knoxville. I drove to Townsend.
Yeah, all right.
But I interviewed with them. Here's the reason why they hired me. You know what my starting salary was?
What was it?
It was less than $7,000 a year.
Less than $7,000. Did you pay your own flight down here too?
Yes, I did. I had to borrow from mom and dad.
Yeah.
But they provided a trailer for me to live. It was older than I was, and so it was in ill repair.
So room and board was included in your $7,000?
No, not board, room.
Just room.
Yeah,
okay.
just room.
All right.
And so that $120 I made every week was for groceries. And I had just gotten married. In fact, that was the reason I took the
You
job.
brought your wife down here?
Here's the thing.
To that trailer?
I was getting married 2 weeks before.
Does she know that?
Here's what happened. I'm trying to tell the story. We were getting married, planning the wedding, and I was offered this job in Tennessee. And I asked her, I said, here's this job opening. Should we take it? And she said, I'm too busy planning the wedding. You decide.
Wow.
That was all I needed. The door was open. I took it. And literally 2 weeks after we got back from the honeymoon, I packed everything I owned up into my Jeep Wrangler, which is sad because everything I owned fit in a Jeep Wrangler.
Yes.
And I drove down to Did
she come with you?
No, I left her in Buffalo because she had...
She's not still there.
No,
Okay.
she eventually came.
Okay.
But I drove down, and that's where my career in wildlife management started. I was working with bears in the Smokies. That's where I got to meet Kim DeLozier with the National Park Service, Doug Scott,
right?
All the TWRA folks. I worked with them, working with bears for about 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years? You weren't in that trailer for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I was.
You were?
Yeah. And so, believe it or not, I stayed married through.
You did? Well, what's your wife's name?
Sandy.
Good for you, Sandy. Okay, we'll send her a copy of this story.
We should.
Yeah, this story.
Oh, my God. I could tell you stories.
No, that's okay. Y'all been married for how long now?
16 years.
Okay, 16 years. All right.
So,
okay. So you got that, and so you...
So I was told, because we were starting a family, we had our firstborn child, and I was given the ultimatum, get a real job, which I agreed. I had to find something to support the family.
Yeah.
And then I served a stint in Maryland with Isaac Walton League, and she said... Oh, that was a really cool job.
You went from the trailer to the Isaac Walton League?
To Washington, D.C.
To Washington, D.C.? You went from the trailer in Townsend?
You know how long I lasted there? 10 months. And she goes, I don't care what you do, get us back to Tennessee. And you know where I ended up? Bartlett Range.
Really?
Yes.
You ended up at the brand new Bartlett Range.
Brand new Bartlett Range, but that's where I started my career with TWRA as a wildlife manager even though I was doing primarily hunter education stuff. And then a job opened about 2 years into that for the big game coordinator because I worked with bears for 5 years and had the education. I put in for that job, became the big game coordinator, did that for 7 years, and then the chief of wildlife position opened. And I put my name in the hat to get some experience interviewing.
Yeah.
Never thinking that I would be selected, and it was one of those.
No, you were.
You're kidding?
Yeah. You were right. It was time.
Well, I think they're looking for the new blood,
So how old are you now?
How old do you think I am?
30.
I'll pay you later. 45.
45. I'm 38 is what I was going to say.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah, okay. All right. It's the beard.
It's
the beard.
I don't diet, I swear.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, because the rumors were when you came to Bartlett to live that y'all lived in a trailer someplace. So I just wanted to make sure that.
I lived in a trailer when I moved to. I didn't live in Shelby County. I lived in Fayette County in a trailer.
You did.
So
there was
eventually
the trailer theme
I was
remained.
given the ultimatum: can we please have a house? And so we bought the house where we live now because we moved. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. They were great places to live while we were there, but we eventually bought a house, and that's where we're still at.
Well, and we're talking to Daryl Ratajczak, and as I told Daryl all the time, I've had more trouble spelling his first name. I've got the Ratajczak down, and everything. A lot of people say that, but I know that, Daryl, you got to feel. It's your passion. So when people say, "Well, what do?" You were talking about having that emblem on your shirt that says TWRA and everything, and being the chief. What about your job?
I wake up every day just in disbelief that I actually have the job that I have. You saw the video that I showed about what our agency does and all the different animals and everything that we do at TWRA, and to think I'm part of that. I don't know why I've been so blessed that I'm in the position I am, and so I seriously try not to take it for granted because it was a dream job that I never imagined I would ever get. And the fact that it came so quickly, I don't know, I paid off the right people or something.
I know it's a difficult thing that you do, and your job is part of it, but I appreciate your friendship and appreciate the job that you do. You've added a lot of high-tech stuff. I wish you could see his iPhone. Mine. I got camo and stuff. This is I'm not. What is that?
Some type of camo.
Oh, that is some type of camo. Is that a buffalo camo or something?
No, I got that at Walmart.
Okay, all right. He threw in a commercial for Walmart. He gets $25 off. Daryl, thank you for being with us, buddy. Keep up the good work and everything, and we'll stay in touch. And any time is right, because I got your cell phone, and you always answer that. So, all right, take a break. Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790.